So this is a meeting about nothing. And it's not the nothing with a big N or something like that. It's just nothing is happening. And when there's somebody, there seems to be somebody there. Everything is so real. So everything seems so important. And when there's somebody there, there seems to be somebody there, everything is happening to you. So when everything seems to be happening to you, everything becomes important. Feelings seems to be your feelings. So there has to be done something about it, but that because sometimes when they're feeling their anger or like pain or horrible things, it looks like you have to do something with that. You can do something with that because that's the huge belief also that there's somebody there who has a ability to make decisions, to have a free will. So when there's a free will, there seems to be a free will, there's always trying to have a good life. And then there's a good and bad. There's always good and bad. And when there's good and bad, it's trying to go to the good things. But maybe the good things are changing, but because good and bad is not a solid thing, it's just different. You can see it in the world that some people say this is good and other people say, no, it's not good. So there's no real good or bad. So that's changing. So there's always looking for what's the best way of living my life. And what's the best way and then there seems to be a lot of circumstances happening to you. So it seems to be, oh, what is the best way to deal with those circumstances? Because when there's someone, there's always something going on. I have to deal with what's happening to me. I have to deal with my feelings. I have to deal with circumstances. And I have a choice to make it better. And there's always a thinking about what did I do wrong? What do I have to do to make it better? What do I have to do to make my life more comfortable, more easygoing, less problems? There's always something going on about that. Because it's a huge, deeply embodied belief that there's someone there. And there's someone there who has to deal with everything, what's going on. Everything seems to be very real, solid. The strange thing is, nothing is happening. And when that me that seems to be there, it's not there anymore. It seems like it's falling away, but it's even not that. It never has been there. That's more what's going on, what can happen, that it's very obvious that, oh, it never has been there, but it was such a deeply embodied belief that there's someone there. And you have to do it. You have to deal with anything. So you can't. Maybe you can hear, oh, there's no me, but that really deeply embodied belief that there's someone that's stronger than a lot of other things, a lot of other beliefs. So this is not about trying to have another belief or trying to say to yourself, oh, there's no me, so I don't care. This is not about not caring. This is not about nothing is going on, so you can say it is what it is. It has nothing to do with that. It's very alive. It's just like you can compare it with little children. They're not so into I am there. Maybe really from 2 or 3, they're starting to have like, oh, I'm willing that. But before that, it's just happening. It's just happening, and there can be pain or any feeling. It's just there without any notice about if it's wrong or right, if it has to be changed. And that's you could say the only thing about there's no me is that there's nothing going on about changing anything. That's it. It's just life. And it's the same as normal. Every person, you could say, it's just normal. It can be anything. It can be walking in a straight way. It can be having a cold. It can be anything. It's just normal. The only thing is there's nothing going on trying to change it. And that's not a choice. That's not a belief like I'm not doing that anymore. So it's just not coming up. It's just not happening. So it's very easy. In one way, it's very easy. In another way, you could say there's no escape. There's no escape of anything. So the beliefs or the feelings can be anything. Can be like this, or sadness, or joy, or anything. It's just there. And it's very obvious that there's no reason for anything. So when there's someone living your life, you're living your life, there's always trying to work out what's going on, what was the cause of this, what did happen, what did I do, what he did do, or she, what did happen, so I can change that. When there's suddenly not that trying to change anymore, there's also no clue about what's the reason for any feeling. There's no reason. There's just feeling for no one. And it's so normal to have feelings and thinking, oh, it's my feeling. Or maybe not thinking it's my feeling, but it's just your feeling. But maybe it's just happening in the room. It's not yours. It's just energy in a certain way happening for no one. And there's already no one. So there's no need to do anything. And when there's doing, then there's doing, but it's just happening. That's the easy part of this message. It's already no me. So there's no need for to change anything. There's no need to understand this message. Because it's already complete. It's already like it is. That's it. It will not be any better. That's something most people don't want to hear, because a lot of people, when you're living your life, you try to have a better life. This message is not talking about a better life. What is happening, that's it. And that what also is and that's another thing about this message, nothing is solid. It seems to be very solid and real. And then suddenly it's seen that nothing is solid, nothing is real. It's only apparently real. So it seems to be very real, and it just can talk about it and anything. And some way it's seen there's nothing real. It's just energy in a certain way for no one, going nowhere. It's just like trees, just having leaves, they falling down, they growing in a certain way. That's it. That's the same with human. It seems there's somebody there and we are doing the building of houses and anything. It's just energy. For no reason, going nowhere. Nothing is happening. That's what this meeting is about. It's about nothing. But for when there's somebody there, that sounds, in a way, it can sound very strange, and also a lot of people don't want to hear this. So we can talk about this, and you can say anything. You can ask any question. It doesn't matter. If it's in the story a question, then it's in the story. Nothing matters. It's just when that's there, when there's that question, then there's that question. Okay, of course. So we can talk about this.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi, yeah, good to see you.
Ah, I hear you.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
hear
Would
your
you,
voice. You, what your name was?
Dave?
Oh, Dave. Oh, hi.
Yeah,
Hi. Yeah.
hi, hi. Yeah,
Hi.
I'm loud enough, am I?
Yeah, you're loud
Yeah.
enough for me.
o-
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so there's uh, seen, been here a lot of these meetings, these Zoom meetings with you, and I've heard a word that you use uh, quite a lot, which is when you talk about energy. Use the
Mm.
word energy, and
Ah,
although you haven't done it today so far, you say it's uh, atoms flying around and moving and all that sort of
ah,
thing, and that bothers me because that's I don't see any atoms. I suspect you
mm,
don't see any atoms.
no.
This is, but at the same time, you say if your husband goes into another room, there's no husband.
Mm.
But somehow there's atoms, which you don't
Ah,
see. Yeah, you know, it's like a
ah,
story, like science story, to bring
mm,
an unnecessary story.
okay.
It's a bit
Yeah.
confusing, oh well, maybe I'm not seeing what Rose is seeing. Maybe she's seeing these patterns of
Uh,
energy and
mm,
floating around and all this sort of thing. But so
no. No, yeah, that's the different thing that sometimes there's also talking in the story and
yeah,
trying to or making something more explaining something like that. But of course, I don't see any atoms. It's what is seen is the same as you. There's no
yeah.
atoms or things like that. It's the same. But
It,
it's more like what I think it's going on is that like to make it more neutral, something like there's just atoms and like that going on, instead of oh I'm here and this is solid and this is my body and that's it, and then it's making it like oh there's just atoms and things going around. There's nothing real. It's just apparent atoms going on and flowing. So it's about that. It's not about the atoms that it's real or something like
no,
that.
no, no. I didn't think so. But it just seemed like sometimes you hear in New Age thinkers, and sometimes with non-dual type sort
Yeah,
of New Age speakers or some non-duality. They
yeah.
borrow the authority of science
Ah, yeah, yeah.
when really they're not scientists. They don't know really what they're
No.
but it
Hmm.
just sounds like oh well that's it. It must be real then. There's it's all atoms, or they bring in quantum physics and God knows
Yeah.
what else, But it just
Hmm.
seems to complicate things. I've heard Tony Parsons also use scientific metaphors and things, and it doesn't seem helpful to me. It may satisfy some people who think, oh, right, it accords with science, so it must be, it must be true.
But this is not about true. This
No,
is just when there's some words coming about that or Tony saying that, or it's just coming out and it's not about truth. There's something beneath that message what is more important than the words.
okay,
Because when you look at the words, you can fall on it and thinking, oh, that's controversial or something like that, or you can't know that or something like that. It's just saying what's coming up, but it's not the words. It's just, and then what I said, it's something and it needs to uh, make, yeah, how do I say? It's not with a agenda, but it's like there's nothing going on.
no,
And that's more what the message is. It's atoms or anything I say. It's not important.
okay.
When you don't understand the English, you can also be in this meeting, and there's still the same thing going on.
Okay, okay. I've heard you say somebody suggested another word for energy, or maybe you said it, which was life.
Yeah.
And that seemed a better way. There's just, but not like sometimes people say, well, when did life begin? And it began with amoebas and little animals, and then it spread. But like everything there's just life. So tables and shoes and everything.
There.
I felt more comfortable with that word than atoms.
Yeah. But different people have different feelings, and some people say God. I don't use it because for me it's a lot of other things around that, and then there's energy is more neutral or life also.
But then there's another. So like you just mentioned the word God, I'd feel even more comfortable with that word than atoms. But there's but I'm not religious in that. I don't believe in God, but I'm sorry, I just forgot what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. Maybe it'll come back. It was about another thing to do with energy, but it'll come back. I'm tired, so.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hari here. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. And you?
Thank you. So when you are talking about, it just happens, not for me. When emotions like fear and anger, all these things happen, it's very much, I perceive that it is happening to me. Fear is not out in the air, actually.
Yeah.
Fear is happening to me. How will I perceive that the fear is out there?
Yeah. No, you can't do that. It's when that's very strong that there's happening to you, then that's what's happening. That's such a strong thing, or I believe is not a good way to say it, but it's very strong. So it can diminish that it's not that strong anymore. So in that sense, there can be a change, but I don't know how that happens. That can happen or not. Maybe it's getting stronger. So it's not better not to have that. When that's happening, then that's what's going on. So, yeah.
I mean, it is as much, are you saying that fear is as much impersonal as, let us say, flower vase sitting on a table? So I look at a flower vase sitting on a table. So, I mean, it's impersonal. Are you saying that fear is also as impersonal as the flower vase sitting on a table?
Yeah. It's just energy. It's a certain energy feeling. And when there's such a huge belief that there's someone there, and it's not only a belief, it's so embodied, then that everything is happening to you. But there's no one. So it's just a feeling. It's just fear. And also the name, when where we are so used to when there's something happening in the body, or you feel like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, I'm so frightened, or I'm so devil. It's already a story like that, because that's the normal, how everybody does. It's so normal. It's so embodied. And it's just an energy. Maybe you don't know what it is, but it's so quickly giving it a name and taking it, how do you say, taking it home for tea, something like that.
But also, these emotions are associated with the personal story. If you call it as a story, let's say that I have done something, or I have not done something what I should have done it. There is a guilt. So the guilt is not out there. No, it's like flower vase is out there, but the guilt is associated with the story. Okay, that I have not done whatever I am supposed to do. So how will you treat it as a impersonal, feeling, right? There is a, guilt is a feeling which is very close, like, right? I have not done it. I have done it. So that feeling comes. So how can I take it impersonal?
You can't take it impersonal. That's not this message. You can't do anything about that. So when there's guilt, or when there's a feeling of I didn't do the good thing, because guilt is about doing something wrong, then there's a feeling, and there's always seems what me does is always connecting. So when there's a feeling like, oh, I did something wrong, and there's a feeling like fear or something, tension maybe, then it's like, oh, because of that I did that, I feel this.
Okay.
That's what me does. It's connecting, but there's no connection. It's just happening like that. But in the story, it seems so normal. So, but you can't do it otherwise. It's just what is happening. That's it. When there's guilt, then there's guilt. A feeling of I'm doing something wrong, then that's there. This is not about a way of living. And it seems very strange. Yeah.
It is, but see, every time, this is a universal feeling. People always, when I say something to you, anybody else, they can understand. Oh, okay. You have not done something. Oh, I understand why you are feeling guilty. That means it's a universal feeling. Everybody feels that, and there is a universal connection, right? Like, if you have done something right, if you have not done something right, or if you have done something wrong, you will feel guilty. So everybody understands that. So there is a connection.
But in this message, it's not about universal things. This message is saying there is no guilt, there's no responsibility, there's no one. So you can't hurt anybody. It's because there's no one. But that's very strange. You can't. This is not about believing that, because you can't believe that. Yeah. But it's a strange way, because we're so used to doing or the right thing or the wrong thing and hurting people or things like that. And then when somebody's saying that there is no good and no bad, there can be pain, of course, but it's not because of something. And we are so used to have cause and effect. Everything is about cause and effect.
Correct. Yeah.
There's no cause and effect. There's no time. It's a difficult thing. There's no time. Maybe some people can hear that like, oh, time is a bit strange. When you are in holiday, you don't even know what day it is, something like that. There's no time. So some people, in some ways, we can understand. But when there's no time, there's no before and there's no after. So there are no consequences. That's huge. But it's not, you can't understand that. It's not about understanding. It's something else. Sometimes there's suddenly something like, oh, and then maybe it's gone again. But this is about something, behind that. Or I don't know how to say it. Mm-hmm. There's no one. So everything is innocence. That doesn't mean that it can't there's no pain. Of course there's pain, but it's not because of anything.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to either understand or see the.
Yeah.
I think the crux is that being able to see that there is no one. Actually, you were saying. Actually, they seem to be.
Yeah. But don't try to understand if you're doing it that light. But it's not. This can't be understood. There's something about something else, something behind that. So we're so into understanding and thinking, oh, when I'm understanding it, or then I know how to deal with everything. This is about something completely outside of the story. So that's beyond understanding. And that's strange, because we're so used to understanding and logic and thinking in the story because you think that's the only thing there is. And then suddenly you hear there's something else. It's outside the story. Huh? How can that be? And there can be something like, oh, then the mind or the brain or I don't know, it's like, oh, what's going on here? And sometimes there are a lot of questions and suddenly it can't become, there are not any questions anymore. So because this is not logic.
So if it is not understanding, will you say that it is seeing, no? The word we use, seeing.
Yeah, but it's not seeing with the eyes, of course. It's not with the eyes. It's something. Yeah, it's not about seeing. Yeah.
Seeing in this sense, I'm using it metaphorically, but seeing is instant, right? Meaning, you can explain all the things, describe everything, but when you see that instantly. So I'm using it in that sense. Is it like your brain or whatever? Your brain or I don't know. See, I think.
Yeah, but then but the strange thing is when they're saying it's about seeing or it's obvious like that, then the me or you or are waiting till that moment, and then that's not about that. It's not waiting till that moment happens. It's already there, but that's the most difficult part of the message. You can't. Yeah. It's like it's so obvious it's already there, but when you're in the story with everything going on, you think, huh? How do you mean it's already there? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I've always thought about it again. No, it is again intellectual way of approaching it. So I was always thinking, okay, trying to understand, and then next best step is seeing, and the next I can think about is being, right? Like when you be it actually, then there is no, there is no question. Will you say that it is being? It is being.
Yeah, but being is the only thing there is. So it can't be not there. So everything is already complete. But when there's me is the top of the survival system of which is there because there's something wrong. There seems to be something wrong. And then it's trying to make it right. Right. That's the misunderstanding. But you can't say, oh, everything is all right. That's very superficial.
Yeah, you can't say that. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Sometimes it's very clear. You see, oh, no, of course not. And then you sit in another way and then it's back again or it's a different part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So it's so obvious that it's like I am asking question because I'm not seeing it. I have all the struggles, etc. So it's like I don't think I can use any words. I think right. So if you say I remembering or it's like I come out of the dream, right? So when I come out of the dream, it is very obvious that I was dreaming, and I don't have any question.
Yeah. Suddenly that's huh? But that was what that moment you could say when there was no me anymore. It was only there like, how could I not see that? It's so obvious. But that dream, that's so strong, that's so embodied. So you can't say to somebody like, oh, you're dreaming, don't do that. They look at you like, oh, you're dreaming. Of course. You can't say it. I didn't speak for years after that because I didn't know what to say. How can you say that? It's so normal. It's too normal. Everybody knows, of course. But that whole thing about I'm there and I have to deal with it and there's something wrong and I have to make it right. That's so strong and hypnotic. That seems the normal way.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Even, it's like the existence of me itself is so, sometimes when you think that me or ego is not there, but it is still an operation that we are not able to see that I don't know whether you use the word ego and all, but I am using in this context that my ego tries to protect itself, etc. So when I am under that spell of ego, I am maybe thinking that I am not under its spell, but still it is, that is what
it's
is
very strong. Yeah, of course.
It is what is operating. It is very difficult to see that is what is operating. That my ego is operating. So,
but it's even not about seeing. That's the strange thing.
Yeah.
This is here. It's not like I'm seeing it or something like that. No. Yeah, you can't say how it is. That's the strange thing. I can't say it. But that's also very normal because we are so used to talk about what is going on. We're looking at it and thinking about it and what's going on. And when that's not there, it's so normal and just going by itself. It's always going by itself. It never has been any different. But we are thinking as humans that we are doing it. Amazing. But it's amazing. It's just like, oh. And then, but it's so normal. You can't even think yourself out of that or believe or anything. No. But sometimes when you hear this, there can be something going on. I don't know, maybe a remembering or a resonance or somewhere. I don't know.
Okay. You mean there is no free will, and of course, when me is not there, obviously free will is not there. So
no.
There is no meaning for the free will. Yeah.
No.
And one more thing, actually, there are two class of non-dual speakers. One go through the route of what I have heard you and Tony Parson, Jim Newman, few people. You all talk about appearing, this is what is happening, etc. You never refer to awareness. Why is it so? Actually, is it not like can we say that it's all awareness? Is it not?
No, there's nothing about awareness. Awareness is part of the me. There's no awareness here. That's when there's awareness. There's two things: looking at yourself or what's going on. That can fall away.
So
that's also strange. A lot of people don't believe that. That there's no awareness.
Because it is very difficult intuitively. It is very difficult to say. See, there is a truth, and it is very easy to accept that truth has to be me. I mean, I have to be in the picture, in the truth. So externalizing it, saying that it all happens, it all appears. It's very what do you call? Sometimes, of course, it is a me opposing that. Actually, the illusory me may be opposing. Oh, I don't exist in the picture at all. Another thing is like it also looks counterintuitive. Like, right? So instead of saying that it all happens in awareness, it all just appears happening, etc. You feel, where is it happening unless I am aware of it?
That's the story. Yeah, but I'm not saying that. No. Okay. There's no awareness here. There's a living without awareness. That's, for some people, it's like it can't be like that. But it is. It doesn't need awareness.
But can it be a path? Meaning there are spiritual teachers. They say, ask who am I, and then they say start with the I, the sense of I, and then go reach the truth. When you reach the truth.
But when they're starting the question, who am I? Who's trying to ask that? That's me. So it's a circle.
Yeah, I think, of course, you are speaking from the ultimate. Okay, I think from your stand, you are talking about there is no I. So who is asking the I? But for me, there is an I. For me, there is an I. Yeah. And then when I start from that I am just wondering whether who am I can be a route to reach that impersonal truth, is what my question is, right? So when you ask, who am I? And then, they say that, systematic way of, okay, I am not this body, I am not this emotion, I am not this mind, etc. Yeah. So because you see all of them, whoever is perceiving cannot be the perceived. So the perceiver must be different. So this is the route, these teachers take in order to lead you to the truth. So I'm wondering whether, if there is no awareness, can awareness be a starting point, or it cannot be?
I don't hear your question.
The question is like, can awareness be the starting point to reach the truth?
The starting point of?
To reach to realize the truth.
There is no truth. There is no, and of course not.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, I mean,
that's just what's happening. But it's very simple. There's just what is happening. And I know those teachings about who am I and trying to think that. But there's always homework. This is a message without homework, because it's already this. It's very simple. Me wants to do.
He wants to do. I agree.
Yeah, of course. You want to do it because you can't believe this is already this. Because then you think, this, I don't like this, or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
There's no hope for anything else. This is already complete. Okay. This is it.
Okay. I will call happening as a truth. I don't know. I'm trying to associate what you are calling as what is happening.
Yeah.
Can't we call it as truth?
Apparently happening. Yeah.
What is apparently happening?
But there's no truth. How can there be truth? There's no. What is truth? I don't know what is truth. That's something what people can imagine, something about what is truth. I don't know. It's just what's happening. It's just sitting or talking or I don't know, feelings.
Yeah. So all these also, if you look at it, it is happening. When you say happening, it is happening in time, right? When it is appearing in space. This is how I can associate it.
No, it's not in space. It's just when no, it's worse than that. It's not happening. It's apparently happening. So there's no space, of course, because it's an appearance. It's not real.
Okay.
It's apparently real. This I see that there's computer and things like that, but it's it's apparently real. Yeah, but don't bother with that. If you don't see that, don't bother with that. It's not important. Because that can be also a thing like, oh, I don't see that. Oh, that doesn't matter. So what? Then you see something else. Then that's what's happening. It's not about what Rose is seeing and talking and that's it. That's the truth. No. There's no difference. There's no difference. It's just what you are seeing, what they are seeing there. That's it. Of course.
Okay. Thank you, Rose.
Hi. Okay. Hi.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Dave.
Hi. You started off this session talking about nothing. Using the word nothing, and it seems like there's different types of nothing, or it can mean different things. So, I mean, like, for instance, some non-duality meetings, for instance, or on Zoom or whatever, they may say, well, let's take some time and be quiet, and we'll there will be silent, or be the nothing, and the word, it's like some solid nothing, something very real. I mean, you've even used in this session the word being. Everything is being, and that sometimes you could see it. Well, it's being. There's another solid thing. Everything is being, or I mean, there are like so it becomes an interesting nothing rather than a nothing.
Of course.
We'll spend maybe a quarter of an hour to be the nothing, or that type of thing. But also just. Okay. Well, that's enough. But yes. So yeah, there you go.
Nothing is also everything in the same time.
Yeah.
So you can't reach nothing.
No.
Or do nothing or something like that. It's everything.
Yes.
It's the same. It's together.
If I was to say to you, I'm looking at your screen and I can see you in the room, but besides, next door to you, there's a big red elephant. I mean, that's a lie. And that's an uninteresting nothing. I mean, there's no red elephant. It just sort of doesn't exist. It's not worth talking about. So, but this seems like this is something worth talking about. This is a nothing that's worth talking about. It may not be like, sometimes people, like Harry was just saying, they talk about consciousness, and that's like the nothing or being or that type of thing. And so there's a real nothing, which is simply like there was no elephant beside you. So it's not interesting, but it's just nothing. It's just not there, not worth mentioning. And then there's this other nothing.
But the strange thing is, it's everything and nothing. It's together.
Yes.
So when there's someone, everything is real. So it's a fear of nothing, because then, it's already, everything is already nothing.
Yes.
So you can't reach that or do that, or it's together. It's everything and nothing together.
But
yeah.
I start to it becomes more real what you've just said when you say, well, like I said before, if your husband was in the room and then he goes out the room, or even now there's no husband in the room, I suppose. So there's no husband. That's a nothing. Yeah. It could be a frightening thing, or there's no world. There's no, so it simply doesn't exist. They're never.
Yeah.
So that I can see, that's nothing.
Yeah.
And everything at the same time. But that's a sort of it's just seeing the world, seeing what is through a different thing altogether. It just doesn't. It's not solid, but it's not about a nothing or the nothing. It isn't that your husband, if he goes out the room, becomes the nothing. He dissolves into the nothing. It's just not. There's just So it seems such a big word, that nothing. It could really, I hear what you say about nothing and everything at the same time. It still seems. Is the word simply used to take away the solidity of everything?
Yeah.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Ah.
It can happen like that, because everything seems to be very solid and real and something like that.
Yeah.
And it's apparently everything also. Yeah. And there's in the same, I can't say that, but in the same, it's apparent. So everything seems to be real, but isn't. But yes, it's also not there.
Yeah.
It's like with pain. For me, it's very obvious with pain. When there's pain, it's just apparently there, so it's really strong, and in the same time it's not. That's incomprehensible. It's like, oh, it's amazing, and you can only say that, but I don't know, you can't tell it, but most people will make something else of it, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you more about what you just said about the pain not being there. I mean,
yeah,
that's not an experience, or what?
No, it's fair. It's fair. When there was a burning, and then it was so strong that there was nothing to escape. There was no escape, because normally there's a lot of things going on about trying to get rid of that, or it doesn't mean you don't do anything. Maybe you do it under the water, or it was my finger, so that was happening. But in the same time, there wasn't pain. It's really strange. So then, and there's nothing going on about getting rid of it. And when there's pain, there's a lot of like, I don't want that, or things like that. So that makes it even more. That can make it more. Hoe zeg je dat? Like that. I don't know the word in English. Very
intense.
Yeah, no, not intense, but it's very intense.
Yes.
It's very much alive.
Yeah.
And in the same time, it's not there. Yeah. I can just say like that. I don't know.
Okay, well that's the bit I can't. I mean, I can see that you could have extreme pain, and one can be calm about it, or you're not reacting to it, and you're just it's just there. But
it's not sitting there with like, oh, it's okay or something. No, I didn't. No. I was walking around, and I was like, oh, I thought I'm walking around, and then I get rid of it, and I was like, oh no, that doesn't matter. It was just, and then do it under the water and things like that. It was just doing things.
Okay,
like from itself. I didn't think at that time.
No. So is it more like I said, being not with an effort, but just calm, not trying to get rid of it, and it's just happening that way.
Yeah.
But you're not actually, but you're not saying. So I can't get into this thing about it being it not being there at all. It's easy to see when somebody goes out the room that was in front of you, and they go out the door. Then you say, well, that's it. They're not there.
Yeah.
But when pain is right, seems close. How is it not there then?
Yeah.
Can you say something more about that?
But that's what we're talking about. Everything is just apparently everything, and it's just nothing. And that's when we are doing about the circumstances or some people around you. But when it's going about the body or yourself, you could say, then it seems more solid or more real. So that's the more difficult part, you could say.
Yeah.
I know I was in the garden and there was suddenly nobody. That was a shock. That was a huge shock. I never thought that a body couldn't be there. It was obvious. It was always there, the body. And then suddenly it wasn't.
Okay.
Wow, it was shocking. And still, there was something going on. There was nothing. It was just seeing the garden also. So, whoa.
So you looked down and you saw your legs, and you couldn't see your legs.
No, yeah.
Right. So this is something. This is like a very unusual experience.
That is.
You don't. This second, you don't experience that. If you look down,
no. I can see my body. No, I can see the body now. Yeah,
okay. No. So this, right? Well, so is it like this message? You only know you you really hear this message if your body disappears.
Yeah, that's it. No,
that's it.
That's
okay.
a joke. No, of course not. That can be anything. It's so different. That was before anything happened, but there were some, you could say, some moments or awakenings or something like that. But that can be so different. There's so many people talking about different things happening, and it's just like that in a second, because then after that, after a while, it came back and it was just normal again, and I just believed my body was real again. Well, it was, but there was something then that's kind of awakenings, that suddenly something was not that solid anymore.
Yes. I've spoken to people who say the similar kind of thing, and their whole life after that is not the same. Things aren't solid.
Something like that. Yeah.
But can you also say that these experiences, they're all well and good for me, but they're not necessary. Right? They're unimportant as well. You don't have to. That isn't part of this message that it's like, oh, I've got signs that I'm, it's a sign of something.
No, because I know people they had that experience, and then after that they never had something like that again.
And it didn't change their life.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't know. I'm not knowing. I'm not knowing.
Of course not.
Everything, but no, not really.
Yeah. Okay.
So it can be, and it can be suddenly like that. It's just finished. It's so different. You can't say anything about that.
I suppose when we're asleep, we don't experience our body, or maybe just as we're waking up, there may be but that's not as dramatic as what you're just saying.
Yeah, sometimes just before opening the eyes, there can be some moment like, but it doesn't need to. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's always what me does. It's trying to find a way or something that needs to happen, or when that happens, maybe, or there's always, and it can't hear that it's already what is happening.
Yeah,
it's already this.
Yeah. So could there be something to these meetings where people say we're going to spend a quarter of an hour to go into the nothing or to be nothing, and they have their eyes shut, and so they don't experience for a while they don't experience, it's like a meditative experience. They don't, they're beyond. Is that the same thing, or is that something?
But that's just an experience. There can be any experience. There can also the experience of drinking coffee.
Right.
It's the same. It's
but is that the same?
More important.
Is that the same?
It's just trying to get it.
Yes.
And then they think like, oh, this is really close because it was so silent. It has nothing to do with this. No. But it's just a nice experience.
So was there your experience of not seeing a body? Was that just a nice experience?
No, it wasn't nice. No, it wasn't nice.
Okay.
It was a shock.
Yeah.
Whoa. So I was really in shock. Like I was always drink. I didn't see. So I was trying to make coffee to get it back. Something like weird things.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it was back. I don't know when it happened, but yeah. No, I didn't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
So Rose, Hari here again.
Yeah.
So this doesn't lead to, many people try for this kind of, I don't know what you call realization, because it leads to eradicate suffering. Okay, so are you saying that it will not lead to, whether it is, whether you recognize it spontaneously or whatever, it will not lead to the eradication of suffering?
No, there's no suffering. No, because then when the suffering is, then the huge, the embodied belief that there's something wrong, and it needs to, you need to make it right, and then it doesn't, you don't succeed, and there's still hope, and then trying, and it's working. Oh no, it's not working. Oh, that's the suffering, and that's not there. But the same things are going, like the circumstances can be anything, can be not finding a home or anything. Yeah, it's not that everything is going all right and you don't feel pain or awful feelings or stress. Can be there, can all be there, but that's not wrong. It's just stress or feeling like for a few hours like that. Yeah, it can be there. I don't know why, but it's just there.
But you don't that feeling. You don't. You don't think that feeling is a suffering. Is it what you're saying? Like
no, the feeling is not the suffering. The suffering is that the feeling does need to change. You have to do something about it. What did I do wrong? Something like that.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that. Right. Yeah. Suffering is you don't want that experience. That is suffering. Right.
Yeah.
You don't want that. So you no longer feel that way, right? That's what you are saying. You no longer feel that I don't want that experience.
No, no, there's nothing about going on about I don't want. Yeah, there can be some moments like but it's like the weather is not good. You think, oh, I want sun, something like that. But it's the same thing.
Right. Okay, thank
you. Thank you. It's not so serious. That's more like it. It's what you are. It's what already is happening. It's what's when there's just sitting and watching the computer, the way the sitting is happening, that's it. And when you're not sitting straight or sitting like this, then that's what's happening. So what? We are so educated and so used to think, oh, I have to sit straight. I have to do it like this. I have to feel, oh, what do I feel? Oh, that's because of, and we are sure that it's because of that. And we're trying to make something else of it. It's all the time thinking like, oh, there's something wrong and I have to do it. I have to make it right. What did I do wrong? What is happening? I have some hope that someday maybe it will be like Rose or something, because there's some image about what Rose is like. There is no Rose. There's just that face and there's talking, and then there's just an imagination about what Rose's life is, of how Rose is going on or what's going on there. Because you can't hear, and that's me, it's so strong belief that there's something not right yet. Then this is it. The way the speaking happens, what is said. It doesn't mean it's all right, but it's not right, but it's also not wrong. It's just what's happening. And when there's pain or hurt, then that's what's happening. And there's no one doing that. It's just life happening. So there's not only here in me, but in the other side, in another person, there's also no me. So there's just pain can happen, and there can be concern or taking care or not taking care. Nothing matters. It doesn't mean that you say to yourself, oh, nothing matters, because that's something else. Some people hear this message like, oh, she's saying nothing matters. But it's not a way of life saying nothing matters. That's something else. It's completely different, because we are so used to what's the way of life. We can go to somebody and trying to know or learn what is a good way of living, or what can I do to feel less pain, or work on myself, or things like that. It's always about a way of life, or what can I do or not do. So from that, it's listening to what is said here. And it isn't heard that what's already is happening is it. It's complete. It's the way the face is looking. It's just that. There's nothing wrong. Life is just what's going on. It's like a tree saying, oh, my leaves, there are two leaves that are too yellow. That's what humans are doing. It's just leaves are becoming yellow. That's it. And that's with humans. It's just what's happening. Nothing is right. Nothing is wrong. There's no truth or there's no responsibility. It's just what's happening. It's very, very simple. Nothing to do about anything. No escape also. It's just life. Like little children, it can be very much alive and pain and screaming and playing and anything. And it can be very quiet and sick or tired. That's it. Very normal. Thank you that you were here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Hi, thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you.